Hey there. Today we're going to be remaking this sound from Needed Me by Rihanna. This is the MIDI that I used if you're trying to recreate it yourself. I made this sound using Vital, which is a free synthesizer. You can download it, follow along, and have the exact same sound that I have. So to start with, I'll open a new patch of Vital, and then I'll paste in the melody and create it step by step. So this sound is made up of a sawtooth, oscillator, and white noise. So you can keep sawtooth as it is. I added 7 voices, brought this down to 12% detune. Add the white noise if you haven't. Release, you're going to bring to 0.8, around 0.8. Drop these levels to 0 because we'll add LFO on here at about 0.8 for the sawtooth, 0.5 for the level. And then I liked to tighten the curve just a little bit. And then important to have the same rhythm as a song, you're going to bring the frequency to 1/8. Next, we're going to add a filter. I used the dirty filter at 24 dB. I put this at minus 8.6, 0.66 like that. Put the resonance at 23.8. And then add the white noise to filter number 1. Filter number 2 is going to be on top of filter number 1. And I kept it as analog, 12 dB. This is set at 15.3 with the resonance at 43. So now we're going to add a new LFO. This one you're just going to leave as it is, except for bringing the frequency up to 1/8. Put this onto filter number 1. And this is going to be at 36.41. Bring it onto filter number 2. Put the value at 5.8. And that's it for the oscillators and filters. Now for the effects, I started off by adding some chorus. Put the mix at 28.8. Feedback 45.11. Depth is at 17. I added some delay, kept it at 1/8. Put the feedback to 45.11. Oops. So the chorus feedback should actually be at 21.1. Cutoff is at 66.25. And then spread is at 0.39. Like that. Next, bring in some reverb. I kind of shaped the cutoff like this, just so that we get kind of those low mids, fill out the sound, size all the way down to 0. Time is at 0.046. Mix is at 8.286. Next, I added EQ. And you'll find that this sound really is made up of its EQ. That's what gives the sound character. I shaped it like this and boosted these kind of high mids here. Like that. And then I added some multi-band compression. For the mix here, I put it at 0.73. Release all the way up to 100. Attack is at 82. Low band at 8.97. Band is at 8.5. High is at 11.66. Perfect. So that's all we do in Vital, and now it sounds like this. So that already sounds good, but if you want it to sound even more like the original, you can add even more EQ and a little bit of multiband compression, sidechain, and some stereo width. So this is one of the EQs that I used. Feel free to copy this. You could use any EQ plugin that has enough controls, but I just use the FL Studio one by default because any FL Studio user has these. So that's EQ number 1. EQ number 2 looks like this. And then I added some multiband compression with OTT. And all I did here was bring the upward compression to 50, downward compression to 24, and I lowered the low end just a very little bit. Then I added some sidechain. I used Growspeed because it's really easy to do it on Growspeed, but you could use any sidechain plugin. You could even use volume automation if you wanted. And then lastly, I just brought some stereo width to the sound to make it more stereo. And then rooted with these final effects, we have this. So there you go. That's the sound from Needed Me by Rihanna. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if there's any other sounds you'd like me to remake and give tutorials on, please leave them in the comments. I'd love to take a look at them.